All right. Good morning, everybody. Hi. Hi. Hello. Welcome. Good morning. It's nice to see you. This is the second live stream I've ever done. So bear with me. Be patient. Come join me. Say hello. I have a few topics that I'm excited to chat with you about from the new book, 5 Minute Selling, today. And some exciting news, some really, really cool news I wanted to share with you guys that last week, in the first week of its publication, 5 Minute Selling hit the Wall Street Journal bestseller list. So that's a huge deal as a writer, and it's very much thanks to your support. So thank you very much. Okay, folks, welcome to the live stream. Let me know where you're from, where you coming in from. We're going to sort of do a slow start here and let people join in, and then we'll sort of push the gas on things. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what you do. Tell me your job. Tell me your role. And then I have a question for you. The question is, give me your take on what you believe is the single most important sales action that we salespeople do to grow sales the easiest, the fastest, the most. So tell me where you are, where are you watching? Tell me what you do, what's the role, what's the job that you do, and tell me your take on the single most effective action in sales that we do that you think grows sales the easiest, the fastest, the most. I have what I think it is, but there's no right or wrong answers. So I'm curious what you think it is. What do you think grows sales the easiest, the fastest, the most? And I'll ask the question again as people sort of start to join in. Where are you at? What do you do? Tell me your job. And the sales action you think that grows sales, is the highest impact on selling, on additional sales that we do. So Defina is a sales executive all the way in Kosovo. Cool. Awesome. Good to have you here. Defina. Kelly's in Daniel Island, South Carolina. Teresa sells bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes. She does consulting and education for business. Very good, guys. Tell me the thing we do that grows sales the easiest, the fastest, the most, in your opinion, in your world. Again, absolutely no right or wrong answers. What do you do, or maybe you don't do it, but feel that you should do it, that will grow sales the easiest, the fastest, and the most? Okay. So we're 3 minutes in. I want to get into a topic that I think is really, really important for us now, and that is cold calling. I want to talk about cold calling. I actually got a call on Monday from a salesperson yesterday on Labor Day. Yes, a salesperson called me and said, "Alex, I have a question." I picked up. I didn't recognize the number, so I picked up. My cell phone's out there, and he says, "I'm just having trouble connecting with people. I'm having trouble getting people to talk to me, to call me back." I said, "Who are you calling?" He says, "People I don't know. Cold calls, cold calls." Then we talked about how he did it. He says he's leaving voicemails, and that's about it. He's kind of grinding through it, telling people who he is, telling people how to call him back. But that's about it. They don't know him, and he doesn't know them. And so I got to thinking, let's talk about cold calling. Let me go through some of the comments here. Teresa says that sales actions she thinks is honest and just helping businesses. Good. Dion says, just follow up. That's right, Dion. The most successful people follow up a lot. Sam says, prospecting. Sam, tell me how. Prospect how? What do you do to prospect? Hey, Kelly Harrigan from Commonwealth. What's the most important sales thing that causes the most sales? She says listening. That's good. That's good. Listening is good. And Defina says, know your mission and have patience. Awesome. Real good. Know your mission and have patience. All right. Let's talk about cold calling. Here's my take on cold calling right now, guys. I don't think there are cold calls now. I don't think we have cold calling today in this environment. And the reason is we're all going through the same things. It's a really interesting deal. We're all dealing with the pandemic. So when we start a conversation with somebody we don't know, we actually know a lot about them. We know what they're dealing with. If they have kids, we know the kinds of decisions that they're making. We know they're worried about sending the kids to school or leaving them at home. If the kids are at home, well, gosh, now we have to be teachers, don't we? We have to help them through that. Are you going to the office or are you not going to the office? Are you working from home? How is it to work from home, by the way? We have so much that we can talk about with things now, with people now, that I don't think there are any cold calls. I think that we have relationship calls to make. You're not starting at 0 anymore. You're kind of starting here at 50 with people. And look, I don't know some of you watching this, but I could talk to you for a half an hour about what we're both going through in the pandemic. And so when you call somebody, here's the language. And this is in the book. This isn't 5 minutes long. The scripting is in the book. The language is, Casey, it's Alex. How are you? I was thinking about you. How are you doing? How's your family? How's everybody getting through this time? No, that's not in the book because I wrote the book before the pandemic. There's a note in the book that opens it during the pandemic. But how are you getting through? How are the kids? What are they doing? Are they going to school? What are you doing for your office? Is it at home? How's that? What's it like to work with your family? We could have that conversation for half an hour. And when that's done, I wouldn't do it for half an hour, but we could. It'd be like sitting at the bar, having a drink together. And when it's done, now I would pivot gently to sales. And I would say, Casey, what are you working on these days that I might be able to help you with? What do you got going on? I'd like to help. And when you say I'd like to help, nobody says that to your customers anywhere, ever. When you say I've got to help you, they're going to be like, oh my God, they don't have anybody like this. So they're going to hold on to you. Casey says, asking the did you know question about products you can provide for the customer that they do not frequently buy. And also call them and be consistent with calling or stopping by as the top thing that we can do to grow sales the easiest, the fastest, and the most. That was the question, guys. If you're with us now, I've got 3 questions for you. Where are you from? Where are you watching? What do you do? Tell me the job. Tell me the role. And what's the number one thing that you do or could do or should do that will grow sales the easiest, the fastest, and the most? Harold Ray says, all the stuff in your book is about B2B sales. How would you adapt it to life insurance? So I don't know. I'm going to call you Ray because that's in parentheses there. I think it's the same thing, Ray. I think people have to hear from us because they're not hearing from your competition very much. Here's the key when you try to get yourself to making phone calls. The key sort of realization. We think our customers' phones are ringing off the hook. They're not. The phones are not ringing off the hook. We're all sitting at our desk. Look around yourself right now. This is an interesting exercise. Look around your desk. Can you reach your phone? Can you get the phone? Is it within arm's reach? I would bet that everybody watching right now has their phone within arm's reach, right? You can reach your phone. And so can all of your customers. They can reach their phone. And so we got to call them, Ray. And this is whether you sell life insurance or whether you sell B2B or B2C. People need to hear from us. It's a lost art. So let's talk about why we don't call. We don't make the calls because of fear. Fear is the reason we don't call. We don't want to be rejected. Look, I've said this a lot. In baseball, you go to the Hall of Fame if you fail 70% of the time. In sales, we fail more than that, don't we? We fail more than 70% of the time. I would say a good salesperson is failing probably 90% of the time, right? If you succeed 10, 12, 15% of the time, you're at the top of the game, right? If you're succeeding 10 to 15% of the time, you're at the top. And so the problem with that is we've got to get rejected 9 out of 10 times first before we make the sale. And so most of us avoid making the calls because we don't want to be rejected all the time. The problem with that is if you're not being rejected, you're not going to get any yeses at all, right? If you're not being rejected, you're not trying to sell very much. And so we have an entire population of salespeople. We have generations of salespeople who don't call. They email, they LinkedIn message, right? They Facebook, they visit. We're good at visiting, right? We're good at what the salespeople call belly-to-belly selling, which I never understood because I've never been belly-to-belly with anybody I've sold to. But we don't call. We stay away from the phone because of rejection. Let me ask you guys a question. How many proactive calls have you received in the last, I don't know, let me ask it better. When's the last time you got a proactive call when nothing was wrong from a supplier, from somebody trying to sell to you, right? Personal or business. And that person says, Casey, how are you? Sam, I was thinking about you. Kelly, how's your family? Right? When nothing's wrong. We're good at calling when something is wrong. Tell me how long ago it's been that somebody's called you when nothing's wrong, when nothing's on fire, when they're not bringing you a problem, but they're calling proactively to ask how you are and to ask what they can help you with. When's the last time you got a call like that? Go ahead and type it into the comments. When's the last time you got a call like that? I can think of mine. I got one probably about 2 months ago. And it's the only one I've gotten in the last year. And I remember the conversation exactly. I remember who it was. I remember what they wanted. I remember why they called. I remember what they said. I remember what I said. When's the last time you got one of those? Think through your own phone calls. Go ahead and type it into the comments. When's the last time somebody called you when nothing was wrong to ask how you're doing, to ask what they can help you with? So Ray says never. Companies only call me with new product offerings. And if we skip down to Andrew, Andrew simply says never. It's never happened. Now, if we go up to Sam, Sam says last Monday, right? So here we are, 8 days from last Monday, including a long weekend. You could probably remember, Sam, every single detail of that phone call because it's so rare, right? The call you got last Monday when nothing was wrong from a salesperson who just checked in with you. I'm guessing you could probably remember everything y'all talked about. And what they said, what you said. What was the call about, Sam? What did they call about? Andrew says, one time this whole year, he got a call like that. And you could probably remember that call too, Andrew, right? Who called, what they wanted, what they said, what you said. You could probably remember that conversation. That's how rare it is. That's how rare this is. LinkedIn user, we don't have a name, says, I can honestly say no one has ever rang on the phone. I'm going to guess LinkedIn user might be in Britain, in the UK. No one has ever rang on the phone to see what I'm doing or what I need. It's only ever when they are pushing something. And even then, I'd say it's mostly in an email. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So if we think about our own experiences this way, you see how rare it is, right? You see how when you make a call like this, guys, you stand out. You're memorable. People will think of you, not just during the moments that you're on the phone with them. They'll think of you when they're not on the phone with you. They'll think of you a week later, 2 weeks later, as Andrew said, later in the year, because he only got one, right? Sam got one last Monday, so he remembers that person. So that's how powerful it is to call customers when nothing is wrong and say, Andrew, I was thinking about you. It's Alex. How are you? How's your family? Now, what are you working on these days that I can help you with? I'd like to help, right? Plus, we're on the phone together. We're together. What do you need to think about it later for, right? Why should you have to worry about, why do you need that headache for? We're talking now. Let me help you. What the heck? And I got to tell you guys, Chris, Andrew, Paul, nobody will ever say to you, no, I'd rather you not make my life easier today. Nobody will ever say that to you. Paul Meekin says, new products, it just doesn't happen in my world, meaning I think they only call because of new products, right? To pitch you new products. Andrew, let's put Andrew's comment up because it's a good one. Andrew says, the key is to be authentic in your approach. Yeah, amen. It's got to be comfortable to you. So let's talk about authentic in your approach, Andrew, because I think that's a great point. Authentic means you honestly want to me, I think authentic can mean different things to different people. But to me, authentic means you honestly want to help the person you're talking to. And you believe that you can, right? You want to help them and you buy your own value. You believe it. You know you can help this person. You're confident of that. You're optimistic about it. You're positive as opposed to negative, right? Not positive as in certain. So we're positive, we're enthusiastic, we're optimistic. Andrew, let me help you, man. I'd love to do that. I'd love to make your life easier. Now, what are you working on these days that I can help with, right? And I mean, we're in this work to help people, right, guys? That's the point. What are we doing if not helping people? That's the work. And you're really good at it. Here's the key. You care a lot and you're really good at your work. And I am not suggesting under any circumstances that you need to care more. I don't think you need to care more. I think you care more than enough. What I'm suggesting is we need to communicate that care a little bit more. Communicate that care a little bit more. Folks, everything we're talking about is in the book, 5 Minute Selling, my brand new book. It's been out on the market, I think, for this marks week number 2, I think. Week number 2. Wall Street Journal bestseller, currently on the list, right? There's like 1 or 2 weeks in an author's life, if you write business books like this, where that happens. So go see the book if you haven't gotten it yet. I think it'll give you some quick wins. Chris says, great quality cast, by the way, from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Heavy construction equipment, John Deere. Single most effective action: communicate and become relevant with your prospects and clients. Yeah, Chris, you're totally right, man. If you communicate, you're going to be one of the only ones. You're going to be one of the only ones. So that I tend to agree, right? And if we get more specific, I think it's the phone. I think the phone is the way to communicate, not email. I believe email is almost the same as doing nothing at all, right? I mean, it's just a little bit. It's like 1 or 2% better than doing nothing. I think the LinkedIn message is much better than email. And then I think the phone call is very close to the top of the list. The phone call, I think, is almost probably more effective than the face-to-face meeting because we can do so many more of them, right? We can see only so many people in a day, but man, I could call a lot of people in even 10 minutes and leave voicemails like crazy. In 5 minutes, I could leave 10 voicemails in 5 minutes. And if you follow the script in the book, 1/2 to 2/3 are going to call you back. 1/2 to 2/3 are going to call you back. Jen Boys says, best book I've read all year. Thank you, Jen. That's a great compliment to me. I appreciate that. That's great. Thank you. Paul says, I've read the book this week. I'm doing the book from now on in. I love it, Paul. Let me show you chapter 2, guys. Chapter 2 says, I don't want you to read this book. I want you to do this book. And so the entire book is a process. The entire book is a system based on 2 planners and 2 trackers. 2 planners and 2 trackers. And you can go to my website, download them, print them, and there it is, goldfane.com, and use them. 2 planners and 2 trackers. So the book is based around quickly planning, quickly doing, and then quickly tracking. Meaning, I don't want you to plan your calls for 45 minutes, you know? I don't want you to plan for 45 minutes. I want you to plan for 5 minutes for the week, for the whole week. And then I want you to go and quickly do the work, 5 minutes a day. And as you do it, I want you to track what you're doing in the action tracker, because this sheet filled out, stacked on top of multiple other action trackers, it's a gold mine. It's a gold mine of opportunities. It's a gold mine of things to follow up on. And my favorite part of the action tracker is it proves your success to you. It proves your success. I made a call. Here's what we talked about. Here's what happened. I asked the did you know question. Did you know I can also help you with this or that? Here's what the customer said. Here's how much it's worth. All of that gets recorded here. There's even a dollar figure column there. I don't know if you could see it right at the very end by my finger here. I want you to write down how much you think your 3-second action might be worth to you. And it's all there in a log. Depine, I hope I got that right, says, I have ordered the book and will get it by the month's end. Can't wait. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Now, listen, when you did that, I made $1. That's how rich we authors are. When you ordered my book, I made $1. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Much more importantly, it's going to help you sell more. And I'm excited about that. All right, Sam, let's hit the question. It's a good one. What do you think about using video messages? I keep on seeing that using video to a prospect is the way forward. So look, I sell business to business. I sell to company owners. I sell to executives who run business units, right? If it's a company owner, the company's 50 million, 100 million or more. My median company is probably $200 million, manufacturer, distributor, or service company. Sam, people send me these video messages. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm saying probably there's people that it will work well for. I'm just saying that for me, it makes me kind of uncomfortable to see your video message. It makes me a little bit uncomfortable. It's kind of like all of the discomfort of a cold call, plus now I get to see you cold calling me. I get to see your face. So nobody likes cold calls. If you're sending me a video message, it's probably because we don't know each other very well. If we knew each other, you don't need to send me a video message, right? Because I know who you are. I think there might be people that this will work well for. I think perhaps in the business to consumer space, perhaps this will work well for. I also think if you're in the social media related business, if you work on Facebook, on LinkedIn, if those are the services that you offer, I think it's perfectly natural to go that way. I'm just telling you, if I did it for my clients, I don't know how effective it would be. I even don't know if it would help me or hurt me, right? I almost feel like it would take me in the wrong direction a little bit with my prospects, who mostly use the phone. But that's about knowing your prospects and your customers. And as Andrew said, being authentic, right? If it feels authentic to you, do it. Now, look, let me ask you all a question. If you're watching, what's been your experience? Sam and others, what's been your experience with video messages? What do you think? Have you had success with them? How do you feel when you get video messages? Because I think there's industries and categories and customer groups where this would work well for. And so I'd like you to tell me what your experience with video messaging has been, either sending or receiving. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Right? You don't have to just ask me questions. If you agree or disagree, put it in the comments. I'd love to see what you think. Now, I know I said I wanted to do a cold calling bit, and I know we kind of covered cold calling. Let me come back because there's one thing I want to add to the conversation about cold calling. If you have to call cold, a great thing to do is to talk about a customer that you have and something you've done that's worked well with that customer. And then tell the person you're leaving your voicemail for or you're talking to that you think it can help them too. So it would sound like this. Paul, it's Alex. I hope you're well. This is my voicemail. Listen, I was working with a client who reminded me of you, so I thought about you. And we're having great success growing their sales. I wanted to tell you what we're doing because I think it'll work with you too. I think this would work great for you. So if you have a couple minutes, give me a ring. Would love to hear your latest, and I want to tell you all about this. Here's my number. So it's great to warm up the cold call with a conversation or just a brief sentence even about somebody you're working with. They reminded you of this person, even if you don't know each other. That's cool. That's okay. And you think what you're doing here would work well for them too. Marissa Callie says, I don't like cold video messages. I'd prefer the phone if you're trying to sell me something and build a relationship towards sales. And she says, I'm in the digital space, right? So Marissa works in social media. And here she says that video messages aren't exactly for her. I want to do one more topic. Again, questions, comments, agree or disagree, experiences, put them in the comments, folks. I'd love to see them. In the back of the book, there is a 5-minute selling mindset manifesto. It's one page. It's a one-page thing. And I'm thinking maybe I'll make this a download because I keep hearing from people that they dig this. It's one page. That's it. Right there. That's the manifesto. I figure I'll read it to you. And on the opposing pages here, I do just to call out one important item. And here's what it says. It says, here's a quick piece of self-talk for you to quickly say to yourself as you prepare for your next phone call or in-person meeting. Use this as a mantra to motivate your proactive actions as well. Depine says, it is usually difficult to get attention while cold calling. Yeah, of course, you're right. All right, 5-minute selling mindset manifesto. Here we go. And I want you to say this to yourself. I bring my customer and prospects great value and care. They are with me because they trust me. They consider me a friend, and some of them a family member. I care for them and they care for me. I will help them more. They want this from me. I will offer additional products and services. I will follow up. I will ask for the business. They deserve this from me. All these things are true. If I don't do these things, I am hurting my customers and my prospects. Other suppliers don't do what they say. I am better than them. Other suppliers wait for the customer to find the problem, but I fix the problem before the customer even knows about it. And if you asked your customers, they would tell you this. Other suppliers let my customers down. I will rescue my valued customers from this terrible experience with the competition. I owe this to them and to my family. I want to help my customers more. My customers pay more to buy from me than from others, and they know this. They pay more to work with me because they know I won't let them down. They know I will always be there for them. My customers just want me to be present. I will be present. They just want to know that I care. I will show them that I care. And because of all this, my sales will grow, which is what I deserve. That's what you deserve. And that's what your customers deserve from you. And that's what your family deserves for you to do. That's the point of the work, guys. That's the point of the work. Dan Disney. Hello, Mr. Disney. Love the Mindset Manifesto, Alex. Such a powerful thing to do. Read that to yourself for 30 seconds before your next call or before you try to make your next call, as you're trying to convince yourself to make your next call. Folks, thank you very, very much for joining me. I appreciate it. This is LinkedIn Live number 2. It was very nice to talk with you, to interact with you. I want to thank everybody who commented and who posted. Hello, Brandon. Nice to see you. Looks like you're getting in here for the last moment. But this will come up as a recording on my profile pretty much immediately. So thank you all very, very much. Listen, it's the start of the fall selling season here. It's the start of the fall selling season. So time to push the gas. There's a new normal, you know? There's a new normal that people are in, and there is a routine. So let's push the gas on that. Let's go help people, and they're going to thank you with their money. Thank you all very, very much for watching. Brandon, thank you. I see your note about top sales secrets. I'd be happy to talk with you, and let's get in contact with each other about that now. So thank you all. I appreciate it. Have a great day.